Welcome to today's video. John 8 verse 32 explained. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. To fully understand this powerful statement, we need to look at the broader context of John chapter 8. Jesus is speaking to a crowd of people in the temple, many of whom are Pharisees. The Pharisees were religious leaders, often caught up in legalism and tradition. In this conversation, Jesus is addressing not just them but also those who believed in him. He talks about his divine origin, the difference between being a child of God and a slave to sin, and how he came to bring freedom from sin. The religious leaders were questioning his authority and his identity, and Jesus is challenging their spiritual blindness. This leads to his statement that knowing the truth will set people free. John 8 verse 32 is often quoted, but it's crucial to understand what Jesus means by the truth. When Jesus speaks of truth here, he is referring to himself. In John 14 verse 6, he explicitly says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. The truth Jesus is talking about is not merely facts or knowledge, but the deeper, life-transforming truth of who he is and the salvation he offers. When Jesus says the truth will make you free, he is referring to freedom from sin, deception, and spiritual bondage. In the verses that follow, he explains that anyone who commits sin is a servant of sin. So, the freedom Jesus is promising is not a physical liberation from worldly powers or oppression, but a spiritual freedom from the power and control of sin. Through him, we are no longer slaves to the destructive habits, thoughts, and behaviors that keep us from God. This freedom also breaks the chains of fear, guilt, and shame that come from living outside of God's will. Jesus offers a new way of living, based on the truth of his love, grace, and forgiveness. Knowing this truth allows us to live fully in the light of God's kingdom, no longer held captive by the lies of the enemy. There is a profound connection between truth and freedom. In today's world, we often think of freedom as the ability to do whatever we want, but biblical freedom is different. It's not about being free from rules or responsibilities, but about being free to live the life God intended for us, a life of purpose, peace, and joy. In this context, Jesus is making it clear that real freedom cannot be found through human effort, religious rituals, or intellectual pursuits alone. It comes only through knowing him and embracing the truth he embodies. The Pharisees thought they were already free because they were descendants of Abraham, but Jesus pointed out that true freedom comes from a relationship with God, not just heritage or religious traditions. In today's society, people seek truth in various ways, through education, philosophy, and personal experience. However, Jesus invites us to know a truth that transcends all human wisdom and understanding. This truth changes us from the inside out, transforming not only our behavior but also our hearts and minds. So, how can we apply this powerful truth to our daily lives? First, we need to recognize that knowing the truth requires a relationship with Jesus. It's not just about intellectual knowledge or memorizing Bible verses. It's about allowing his truth to penetrate every part of our lives. This means spending time in prayer, reading the Word, and being open to the guidance of the Holy Spirit. We also need to be honest with ourselves. Are there areas in our lives where we are not walking in truth? Are we holding on to things, whether sins, fears, or misconceptions, that keep us in bondage? The truth Jesus offers will challenge us, but it will also set us free. We need to be willing to let go of anything that contradicts the truth of who Jesus is and what he's called us to be. Lastly, once we know this truth, we have a responsibility to live it out. The freedom Jesus gives is not just for us to enjoy, but also to share with others. Our lives should reflect the freedom we've received so that others can see the truth of Jesus in us. This could be through our words, our actions, and even our willingness to forgive and extend grace to those around us. Make sure to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Stay blessed.